Good morning, Gilbert. How are you, my brother?
I'm fine, thank you.
All right. Well, Gilbert, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been homeless on the streets?
Well, I've been here homeless in San Jose for about 8 years, and it's not as bad as you think it is, but it could be worse.
Do you mind sharing with us what caused your homelessness?
Employment, lack of employment and money.
Employment, money?
Money,
Okay.
even with money, it was difficult to afford everything out here, cost of living.
And then, can you tell us what would you like the public to know about the homeless and about the homelessness issue?
I don't know. I don't know what I'd like to tell them. Kind of more of a standoffish kind of,
Right.
let me do my thing, you do your thing. I'll stay out of your way, you stay out of mine.
Live and let be. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, can you tell us about when I know the homeless camps get swept a lot? Can you tell us what is it? What is when somebody uses the word sweep? What does that mean to you? What is it? What is a sweep?
Well, sweep is when the county comes out and cleans up garbage in the riverbanks where we are. So we are to depart that area so they can come in and clean it up.
And what sort of notice do they give you about the sweeps?
It's usually a written notice. Maybe it was a 2-day warning or 2-day, what's the word? 2 days in advance to let us know, they're coming in.
Okay.
So we have 2 days roughly to get our property out.
Is it always a 2 days notice?
It's generally 2 days, yes. No lesser.
No less? Okay.
Unless, of course, they come with a surprise and just show up and start taking things and cleaning. They've done that a few times in the beginning of the sweeps. They don't do it any longer, so
Well, that's good.
yeah.
What's that sweep like for you? What happens during that sweep?
Well, basically, everyone has to move all their property, whatever you may have, off the river county property. So it's moving, a lot of moving. If you like moving, then
Yeah.
you'll be okay.
But what happens if you don't? Tell us some of the situations where they've been here and they've actually gone through the sweep with you being right there.
Well, you're to be gone. When they come to sweep, you should not be there. You should be gone. You already had 2 days notice to get your stuff out and be gone.
Okay.
And a lot of times that doesn't happen, and people are still gathering their items, and it creates a conflict with the county. And they come in and basically whatever they grab is theirs. They'll take all your stuff and tell you to leave.
And how's their
That's
attitude?
if whatever's left, whatever you have left belongs to them thereafter. So it's probably best to be gone when they arrive.
You mentioned some things the other day that they've taken things right out of your hands while you're standing there.
Oh yeah, they won't let you touch anything. Basically, whatever's there, then their eyesight is theirs now. It
Yeah.
belongs to them now, not you.
Okay. What sort of things do you do about the sweeps? You mentioned something about a cat and mouse game. Can you tell us about that?
Well, basically, we get our property off the county property and take it elsewhere if we want to keep it. That's what we do. We go to the Federal Railroad property and wait it out, and when the time expires for the sweep, we come back with our property.
So sometimes that could be a 2 or 3 day
Yeah,
process?
it depends. It could be 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days. Depends. It's all on the notice. It's different everywhere.
So
Sometimes it's on the average, it's maybe 4 days.
4 days.
4 days,
So
5 days.
hypothetically, let's say the county or the city came in and swept this property now. You may just go over to the railroad and hang out for 4 or 5 days.
Oh yeah, well I would have to if I don't, unless I want to get arrested or lose my property. I would have to take it over there, and they can't touch us there.
They can't touch you there. Then at the end of those 4 or 5 days, what would you do?
Move back.
You move right back
Yes,
to where
yes.
you were.
Yes, it's much better off the railroad, because the train situation
Right.
Our proximity to the track itself is very close. So, especially when the train goes by and all the time, So you'd rather be out in the field, away from the train tracks,
So in the 8 years you've been homeless, how many times have you been swept?
Oh, geez, quite a bit. It started out with maybe 2 sweeps a month,
Mm-hmm.
really hard, because they were hitting us really hard, and we'd have to be on our toes, basically. And they've taken a lot of property from a lot of people and never returned a lot of property, even though they say they store it and you could retrieve it, but a lot of people don't do that.
Has there been times when you've been swept where you've literally lost everything you owned?
Yes.
So you're starting all over again.
Yes.
So there's no permanency, right?
Well, this was in the beginning when the sweeps came in. You got to adjust to it, if you're not used to it, then you kind of like you get caught with your pants down and they take all your stuff. Then you get wise and start moving it,
Yeah.
you hurry up.
Right.
Hurry up and get your stuff out if you want to keep it. But there's been times where they've caught us off guard and didn't post notice. And there's really nothing you could do about it because they'll come in with the police who are working along with them, and there's nothing you could do. I've been told, quote unquote, you could lose your stuff or lose your stuff and go to jail. Which one do you want? So
Wow.
you could lose your stuff
Wow.
and walk away right now, because it generally turns into an argument, maybe a fight if they pull this kind of dirty tactics.
For those who would
So I'd
say,
rather just lose my stuff and eliminate the go to jail part.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those who don't know about the homelessness and they say, well, why doesn't that guy just get a job? How do you respond to that?
Well, I could get a job.
Okay.
I'm not saying I can't work, but a lot of other people have conditions that limit their usage,
Right.
And I'm not getting any younger myself, and health issues come up, and even if I did, my best days are behind me, for instance. I'm not as young as some of the other guys. But even if I did, the cost of living in this area is just ridiculous, It's hard to find something that's affordable.
But how do you get ready for a job interview when you're living in the homeless camp? Is that even possible? To
Yes.
shower, shave,
Well,
and clean up?
it takes a while. You don't have everything in one spot. You have to go elsewhere
Right.
to take your shower or whatnot, eat. It's all a travel,
Yeah.
This takes time. The convenience of a home with everything there, the shower and everything, saves a lot of time. Here we don't have that, so we have to travel elsewhere to do this stuff, Shower up and get ready and
Right.
so on.
What would be your ideal situation? How for the city and the county to handle the homeless situation? What would be your recommendation and maybe an ideal situation for you?
Well, the sweeps in a location where we won't be harassed,
So not be harassed.
Yeah, because
For the sweeps.
that's hanging over your head. You're always thinking about it. Are the police going to come in today, or the county's going to come in today, and you got to watch out because if you're not around your camp, then you could lose everything. If you're elsewhere, maybe out in the street recycling or something, they show up and you're not there, then oh well.
You've mentioned to me in the past that you were familiar with Hope Village over there by Coleman Avenue.
I heard of Hope Village. Yeah,
What did you hear about it?
I heard it's a nice encampment, legal encampment for a number of residents there, and I didn't partake myself because they got full real fast, and they had a limited amount of space and people that they
Right.
could take in. So
How would it sound though if you had?
But
There was an, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
we were watching what transpired with the camp, and see if a lot of people had their doubts on whether it survive or not, and
Yeah.
how far it's going to go. And they kind of ran them through the ringer a bit, moving them here and there,
Yeah.
and eventually shutting down their last spot, and
Right.
then leads you to think that there was no cooperation whatsoever. The city may have just, appeased you, for the newsreel, and that's about it. After it died down, they kind of pulled the carpet out from underneath you.
If you had the opportunity to go into a structured camp similar to Hope Village, what Hope Village was, a structured camp where there's showers, there's toilets, there's even solar panels for electricity, and there's food brought in regularly, and in a nice, secure shelter cabin that you can lock both on the outside and the inside, how would that feel to you? Tell me about that.
Well, I'm always up for something, to try things out, new things out, and I'd possibly look into it and see how it works and how it works for others.
Yeah.
I've done the shelter thing before, but there's no. A lot of people think that shelters are free, and they're not free at all. There's a fee you have to pay to live in a homeless shelter. Like $5 a night, or you have to pay for that bed that you get at that shelter. It's not free at all.
And
They don't call it rent, but they call it program fees.
Well, most
So-
the type of shelters we're thinking of, and planning it for, there'd be no fees whatsoever.
Okay. Well, that'd be nice, because the shelters I've been to have these fees.
Yeah.
And it's not much, but it is something.
Right.
And can amount to a couple $100 a month.
Yeah.
Depending on your situation there at that shelter.
Okay.
But nevertheless, for example, City Team Ministries down the street, they charge per night for bedding. So
yeah.
we like to stay indoors on a bed and shower and
If you
safety.
came across an organized, structured, sheltered cabin type environment where there was no fees, there was showers, there's toilets, and food is brought in, and social services is coming in regularly, how's that sound?
That sounds really nice. Really good, because a lot of times it's hard to make it back and forth to the General Assistance Office, which is quite far from here.
Yeah.
And you don't have a car, you have a bus, or a bike. It can take a couple hours to get there. I don't mind myself, but some people might find it a struggle to get back and forth, to your meetings and whatnot at the assistance office. So if you had it all in one building,
Yeah.
it'd be nice.
Or one campground, 1-2-3 acre parcel
Right?
of land.
Yeah. Little a desk with some of the social service agent people there.
That'd be great.
Like they do travel outside their buildings.
Yeah.
I run into them every now and then, at food pantries and whatnot.
Okay. What's the number one thing you want the public to know about being homeless?
That's a tough one, because I particularly don't like being homeless and the negative connotations attached to it, but I am homeless.
Yeah.
And that's that. And a lot of things they say, you just got to bear and grin it, because it may be true and it may not be, but we're not all like they think we're all.
There's a lot of good people that are homeless, would
Yes,
you say?
yes, and then we're not all burglars and thieves and looking out to cause crime,
Right.
So,
All
I mean,
right.
I understand it's there. The element is there. The element is always everywhere. And sometimes some groups get pointed out more so than others, And the poorest probably, of course. They may commit crime to survive, the poorest.
Yeah.
And, but not everyone does that,
Exactly. All right, Gilbert. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. And I wish you a happy weekend, a great Sunday, and we'll be seeing you again.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.